but were you really thrilled with your job before? Like I always like to say to people, like the people that get invited back from a furlough but asked to take a 20% pay cut, it's almost like they're grateful that they still have a job. But imagine if it was 6 months ago and your boss called you in and said, Laurie, you're doing an unbelievable job at work, but listen, times are tough around here and we're going to ask you to take a 20% pay cut. What would your reaction be, right? You'd immediately start looking for a job. So things have changed dramatically. I want you to picture a life of creating your own life, creating your dream job where you don't feel like you need to take a vacation. Like, could you imagine being able to structure your day that was your day, but you were creating something that was for you, that was sustainable, that was residual, and you could live the life that you really wanted to live. And that's what Laura Thompson's with me tonight. We're going to be co-presenting. Should take about 30 minutes of your time. But, you know, my story, where I was 5 years ago, I was vice president of sales for a big national brand. We sold to retail stores. We were a clothing and apparel line. We sold to all different retailers around the U.S. And, you know, at the time I was starting to see certain retailers that we were doing business with going out of business. And I said to myself, where am I going to be in 5 years? Like, do I need a plan B? And the answer in my head was yes. I didn't know there was a pandemic coming. All I knew was that, you know, my industry was changing. And maybe some of the people on this call see your business changing in a way too, and maybe you want something a little different for yourself. So Laura and I are going to go over today at a very high level, kind of what it is that we do, and we're glad that you're here to take a look. I'm glad I took a look 5 years ago because my life has completely changed, and the trajectory of where I'm going to be 10 years from now has totally changed. So let me just share my screen with you guys. Just give me 1 second. Be patient. Here we go. All right, Laura, can you see that okay? All right, cool. Yeah, so again, my story was, you know, I saw storm clouds coming and I said to myself, what am I going to do? These companies are going bankrupt. And when I looked, the latest one I looked today, this is who's filed for bankruptcy from retailers in the past since the pandemic started. We've had Pier 1 file, we've had Modell's file, if you're from the New York kind of corridor. Modell's a big sporting goods chain. J. Crew, Neiman Marcus, Stage Stores down south, JCPenney, GNC, which is all nutritional supplements, Brook Brothers, Ann Taylor, Lane Bryant, and trust me, guys, there's more to be coming, right? So I saw these storm clouds coming, and I said, what am I going to do? And I want you guys all to ask yourself the same question. Like, if you don't change a thing in your life right now, where do you see yourself in 5 years? If you're one of those people on this call that maybe you've gotten laid off, maybe you've been furloughed, and brought back with a 20% reduction in pay, think of that. Like, when I was in corporate America in my role, we were given a 3% raise pool that we could hand out to employees. Right? You give some people 5%, you give some people 1%, you give some people nothing. But at the end of the day, it had to be 3% across the board. So if someone comes in and whacks you for 20% on your salary, and it's going to take you another 7 years to get back to where you were today, like, how does that play out in your mind, right? So one of the things Laura and I like to do is we say, okay, listen, that's life, right? We all need our jobs, and you know, if I'm going to take that hit, but I have a job and I still have my health benefits, how am I going to make up that deficit? Because you know what, your kids still want to play sports. You're still going to want to go on vacations. You're still going to want to put some money away in your retirement. How are you going to make up that deficit? Maybe, just maybe, tonight is an opportunity for you to make up that deficit. So what I said to myself 5 years ago is I'm going to work full-time on my job, and I'm going to work part-time on my fortune. And that was Jim Rohn. He was really popular in our business of network marketing. And you know, that's what tonight is all about, right? We're a network marketing company. The name of the company is Isogenics. We do about $1.5 billion in sales. That's about where we'll end up this year. We've been in business since 2002. And we are a direct-to-consumer company. We make unbelievable nutrition products. I said to myself, what am I passionate about? Like, I wanted to start my own business. I wanted to do something, but I really wasn't. Listen, I'm not, 32 years old anymore, right? I didn't want to get in a position where I had a warehouse, I had staff, I had, legal department, I had shipping, I receiving, payables. Like, I didn't want to have to deal with any of that. But what I found with this company in Isogenics is I saw an opportunity to partner with someone that already had all that infrastructure taken care of. They had the warehousing, they had the sourcing, they had the incredible marketing, they had the great products, they took care of all the legal requirements, everything. All I had to do was focus on introducing these great products, this great company, to other people. In the past 5 years, my network has grown to over 72,000 people. So, like, it can happen. And when I look at what this direct-to-consumer model means to me today versus what it might have meant to me 10 years ago, is 10 years ago, the internet wasn't what it is today. People didn't shop with the frequency that they do today online. I mean, just all of us on this call have probably been, working out of our homes. And where I sit in my office, I can see the street. I can see, the front of my house. And every day, Amazon's pulling up, or UPS is pulling up, or FedEx is pulling up. We've become this society that is used to shopping online. There was a stat the other day that Nike, who does $40 billion a year in sales, pre-pandemic, Nike wanted to do 30% of its business through Nike.com. So direct to consumer. Take out the middleman. You wouldn't buy it at Dick's Sporting Goods. You wouldn't buy it at Foot Locker. You'd go to Nike.com. 2 weeks ago, middle of the pandemic, they increased that number to 50%. That's what they want to do. They want to have 50% of their business come from Nike.com. So I saw a real opportunity here and hopped on it. And our vision at Isogenics is we want to impact world health and free people from physical and financial pain, and in the process create the most trusted health and wellness company in the world. A place where people can come and shop direct for the supplements that they know and love. We have product solutions for weight loss, performance. So if you're trying to get bigger in the gym or perform at a high level, we have that. We have vitality and well-being, which is like energy. And then we have this financial wellness piece. Just a couple of products before I bring Laura on. This is a big line that I'm passionate about. Laura's passionate about. We're both CrossFit athletes. We feel like we have Amped as the best performance line in the world. So whether you're an elite athlete or just a weekend warrior, protein powders, creatine, branched chain amino acids, all the things to support you during pre, during, and post workouts. That's a really important part of the product story for Laura and I. And that's about a $25 billion industry. So we're passionate about that and growing that. But then we have targeted solutions for, things like sleep support. We do organic greens. We have organic coffees, energy drinks, meal replacement shakes, which are sourced from organic fruits and vegetables. And then we have all kinds of snacks and mini meals, things that you're going to find in your kitchen every single day. And then we have other targeted solutions like joint and pain relief. A lot of people are into intermittent fasting right now, so we have an unbelievable detox system. Vitamins, and then things like gut health, which is probiotics. So essentially, we introduce people to a superstore of health and wellness supplements, and then if they like the products, they share them. Okay, we have 80% of the customers that we have, and we have about, I would say, 700 to 800,000 customers in 26 different countries around the world. 80% are just customers. They shop Isogenics.com because they trust our products. They like the way they make them feel and look. And then there's 20% of the people that actually are looking for a side hustle like Laura and I started out. This was just, for me, as I mentioned before, this is what I wanted to be doing for the next 10, 20, 30 years. I didn't want a boss. I wanted to create my own life, do the things that I wanted to do when I wanted to do them. And there's 20% of us that go out and do something like that. So without further ado, I do want to introduce my business partner, Laura Thompson. 3 years ago, I gave her a call, and all I said was, would you be interested in taking a look at Isagenix and what we're doing here? But what led her to that point where I even had the guts to talk to her about that, I'm going to let her tell her story. But Laura's an incredible athlete, a brilliant woman. She was a vice president of human resources for a Fortune 100 company. She's an incredible athlete. She's ranked number 37 in the world in her age group, and she takes that very serious. So, Laura, could you do me a favor and just kind of introduce yourself to everybody? Let them know what brought you to the call tonight and how it's changed your life.
Yeah, of course. Hi, everyone. Good evening. So as Joe said, I wear a lot of different hats. So for the first 21 years of my career, I worked in corporate America. So just a little context about me beyond my work life, which I'll share more about, but I have 3 kids. They are now 10, 8, and 6. So my life's been really busy, right? But since, I graduated college, my goal was to be a career executive. That's what I wanted to be. And so I committed a lot of time to doing that. And I was at my most recent company for almost 16 years. And it was a lot. You guys can imagine, for those of you who work full time and also have kids, I mean, you're racing through life. So the fact that I also wanted to be an elite level athlete, like I was squishing this into, before the world woke up, right? And I just raced through life for the weekends, just to get it all in. And so that really was my whole identity as a professional. And about 3 years ago, almost exactly now, I walked into the office one day, just like I do any other day. And my boss called me in and said, your position is going to be going away. We're moving it to Texas. Like everything in my life that I knew and I was certain of and I had been working for, and quite frankly, I had achieved, was gone. I literally left the office about 10 minutes later and never walked back in, ever. So it's crazy. I was always wanting to do something different in my life, but never having any idea how I would get there. When you've achieved a certain level of success, we call it you're financially successful, but you're also financially trapped. You can't just walk away. So I had thoughts of what I wanted to do, and this definitely fast forwarded my thinking, but there was a few things I promised myself right at that time. One was that I would find something I loved and that was in line with my passion. And for me, it was health and wellness and fitness, but that too, that no one would ever control my financial future again. It was totally out of my hands. So I wanted something that was more in my control. So as I started to go through this process, everything I could think of, really either one wasn't going to pay me what I wanted to be paid, right? I had gone to school, got my master's, and had a lot of experience. Or I was going to just trade the same amount of time for simply less money, right? So owning a gym, being a coach, all things I love doing. But to do really well, we're going to take all the same amount of time that I still wouldn't have with my family. So one of the first calls I made was to Joe, and he suggested this company. And just for background, I knew nothing about this industry. But as I started to listen and ask a million questions, I evaluated this as a business opportunity from day one. And so I looked at the company, the leadership, all sorts of pieces, because if I was going to tie myself to this company, I wanted it to be amazing, right? And so I loved everything I heard, and I especially loved the compensation plan. And it wasn't just because of the potential that I saw financially. It was actually because of the fact that the way we're compensated is very much in a team structure. And that was attractive to me. And I wanted to surround myself with other awesome people. And so if you fast forward, right, I took a leap of faith by just jumping in, but for those of you involved now, there's really no risk. The risk was consuming products myself. That to me was no risk. And what I found is it to be so much more than even what I hoped, because it's created a community of really like-minded, amazing people who all want the same things in life. And so, if I look at where I am now, I get to spend my life helping other people achieve what they want in life. And to me, I got to do that as an HR professional in the corporate setting. And now I get to do it in a way that really matters. So that's how I landed here. I've never once looked back. And now I just try to share my passion with other people.
Thanks, Laura. Thanks. I appreciate you sharing that. Like, when I met Laura, it was while she was in the role that she was in. And I knew that she was getting up at 4:30 in the morning to go to the gym because she was passionate about that. I knew she had a big job and she was working 50, 55 hours a week, and she had 3 young kids at home. And I can imagine that there are women on this call that that are feeling the same exact way. What I've seen over the past 4 months, as people have been working from home, those who aren't furloughed, they're enjoying that time that they're having with their families, right? They're enjoying the fact that they're not spending 2 hours a day commuting to their jobs. Like, they like I can do this, I can work out at lunchtime because no one's over my shoulder. Like, everything's changed. Everything's changed. And, I took the leap of faith myself. I wasn't forced out. I took the leap of faith because I knew what my life was going to become at some point within the next 5 or 10 years, based on what I was seeing in my industry. I knew things were going to change, and I just didn't want to be on the defensive. I wanted to be on the offensive. So, like I said before, for 3 years, I embraced this business. I learned this business, and it grew. And it grew because of the team that Laura talked about earlier. Like, it wasn't just all about me. It was about me working with Laura, working with Jen, working with Tracy, and it just grew over time to the size that it is right now. So, if you're in here looking for what that opportunity this isn't a typical job. We're not like, I wouldn't have signed up for another job. I signed up because I wanted something different. I didn't want to just exchange that time for money. As Warren Buffett says, I wanted to find a way to make money while I slept. And that means residual income. And for those of you that know what residual income is, it's a powerful type of income, right? It's a type of income that'll last you. It's generational, right? It'll keep going whether you're working or whether you're not. So this woman right here, Jess Johnson, she's on our team. She joined about 2012. Like I said, the company's been in business since 2002. Jess she had her MBA from Clemson. She's a really sharp girl. She worked in the finance world, but she also decided to open up some gyms. So she owned these 3 gyms. Someone came and said, "Hey, check out these Isagenix products. They can help your members with their overall health." She said, "Okay, I'll give it a shot." She was really skeptical, but she had her own health concerns. And sure enough, she started seeing what was happening inside the gym, and she goes, this is good stuff. People are getting great results, but it's also adding this other income stream to our business. Now she says she's fortunate to be able to assist others to do the same by having fun with her team and sharing what she's learned with others. Jen consistently earns over $1 million a year. And before I jumped into this, I called Jess and I talked to her, and you can just tell when people are honest and genuine. Like, she was almost pleading with me to take a dive into what it is they were doing, to forget about what all the critics and all the naysayers would say, all the people that want to squish your dreams, all the people that want to call what we're doing a pyramid scheme. It's all bullshit. I'm telling you, like, I came from this industry of selling retail, and that's the part that's going downhill. But when you look at what we're doing, we're going direct to consumer. Every manufacturer out there is coming up with a direct to consumer plan. They're coming up with their own e-com strategy. And that's all that Isagenix is. We're just the sales force. And we're the most powerful type of sales force. You know why? Because it's word of mouth. When I feel good about myself and I look good and people say, "Joe, what is it that you're doing?" When people say, Laura, you look amazing. What have you been doing? We want to share what it is that's worked for us, right? It's like if you have a great restaurant in your town, or you see a good movie, or read a good book, right? You naturally want to share that with other people. And that's all we do here at Isagenix. That's it, okay? So essentially, you look at what Jess did, right? She had her own gym, and that was her on the left-hand side. She's rowing that boat all by herself, and she's trying to run her gym. And sure, she's a business owner, but she'll tell you if she was on this call right now, she was exchanging time for money. She was there at 5:30 in the morning to open up those doors, and she was there at 7:30 at night to lock them down. And anything in between, she was just trying to fit other stuff into her life. She had young kids going on, and then she found network marketing, and now that's her over in this other boat. Okay, she gets a small percentage of sales from the people that she's introduced into our business, and to the people that they've introduced it, and to the people that they've introduced it. Bottom line is that boat there that has 11 people, Jess's boat has 120,000 people in it. And Jess is probably, I'm going to guess and say she's probably in 8 years introduced this business to maybe 350 people. I think that's a good number. But yet she has 120,000 people on her team. So she makes a small percentage on the efforts of a lot of people. That's network marketing, okay? And if you've ever read the book by Robert Kiyosaki called Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he talks about the cash flow quadrant. And on the left side, that's Jess when she owned her gyms, right? She was a small business owner, S for independence. Most of you on this call are probably employees. Either way, you're exchanging time for money. It's called linear income. It's 95% of the people in this world. 95% of the people in this world say, this is the way you got to make a living because that's the way I was taught by my parents. That's what they taught me in college, but it's only 5% of the wealth, right? She switched over to this other side, right? Where she's got a legacy income. She's got a willable residual income coming in every single Monday. She gets a ping on her phone at noon. That's a small percentage of those 125,000 people. That's residual income. Jess designs her day the way she wants to design it. She recently just sold a house, moved into a new house. She's got kids who are in day camp. And you know what? She had to take her eye off the ball of our business. But guess what? Her income didn't change. As a matter of fact, it went up. Okay? That's powerful. And it's a hard thing for us. You know, I was in corporate for 30 years. It's a hard thing to get your head around the fact that this is the way the business can be done. You just got to open your eyes to it and be open to things that are different. So again, what Jess is now, she represents only 5% of the people, but 95% of the wealth. She's in there with the Gateses of the world and the Buffetts, the people who invest in real estate and have big stock security portfolios. That's where she sits right now. So her team started like this, right? It's kind of like that's her at the top, and she introduced to a couple of people that were members at her gym. And you got to think Facebook. It grows over time, and it's exponential, right? 2 becomes 4, becomes 8, becomes 16. And as Jen started introducing to people, those people started telling their friends about it. And her team grew over time, okay? And Laura, what I say anyone can do this. Anyone. Like, I swear to God, guys, the tools that this company have, not only do we have the #1, I think, product in the world in terms of how clean it is and the things that it can do for you if you plug it into your everyday diet. But, you know, you look at the ownership that we have. We're privately owned. We're debt-free. We're in 26 different countries that Laura and I can do business in. Any of you can do business in. You can either be a customer or you can decide to share it with some people and make some money. Your goals might be different than Laura and I's. Maybe you just want to get your product paid for free. Maybe you want to make back that 20% that you got whacked for when you came off a furlough. Maybe you want to hit a financial home run. Whatever your goals are, anyone can do this. And Laura's going to explain to you about my new girlfriend, Penny.
New girlfriend, Penny. Just to comment on that, I agree. I think, you know, oftentimes when you're introduced to this business, you look at whoever's introduced you and you think that's what it takes to be successful. But the reality is that there are all walks of life in this company that have been equally successful. And I think that's the part that I love about it, right? We have teachers that are amazing because they're so good at teaching and showing other people how to do things. We have athletes because they walk the life of just living a healthy life, right? We have people that have had crazy personal transformations. And so that's their story, right? We have people that are police and fire because this has just made their life easy. And I could go on and on and on. But what I love about this company, honestly, is that you just have to be yourself and get real comfortable in who you are and reach out to other people. And I think it's one of the few places where everybody's welcome and anyone really can do this. It's having the courage to just step out and ask other people if they're open if they're open to learning. So, but to Joe's point, there is a tool that just got rolled out at Isogenics, which has been incredibly helpful. It's called Penny. And so, yes, we all say Penny is our girlfriend because she is amazing. And essentially what Penny does is help you structure your day. So I like to equate it to, so I have a coach who's a remote coach actually, and every single day on my phone, I get my training. I don't have to think about what I'm going to do. I actually don't even get to negotiate what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do, whatever is programmed for me. Penny's kind of the same thing in the business world. You get out your app and you're like, what's Penny want me to do today? And so there'll be things like, oh, look, you have a customer who ordered 25 days ago. Check in with them and see what they're going to order this month. Hey, here's 5 people that I see in your Facebook account that I'd like you to reach out to today. Hey, here's some people on Instagram. I'd like you to reach out to them, right? And on and on. And it just takes the thinking out of the business. Obviously, I still apply my own style, my own intelligence on who these people are, how I reach out. But in terms of like what to do, this has revolutionized this entire thing, because really busy people, you don't want to have to think about what to do, right? You know, Tracy, who's on this call right now, she's about to go back to school as a teacher. She's not going to have a lot of free time between the training she does as an elite athlete and being a teacher. She needs to be able to pick up her phone and know if she has 25 minutes, exactly what she's going to do in those 25 minutes and maximize her time. So this tool just got rolled out, and I think everyone's fallen in love with Penny already. And I can tell you personally, it's just changed the efficiency on my business.
Yeah, all of us are over the moon excited about this because it's so good. It's so intuitive. It brings in all my Instagram contacts, all my Facebook contacts, all my phone contacts, merges them into one, and I can share content from my phone. It's like I often said, I ran a sales force of maybe 50 salespeople around the U.S. We did, $225 million in sales. We had probably 3,000 customers across the U.S. If my sales team had this technology, I think we would have done another $100 million. I really believe that. This forces you to do income-producing activities that can help you build your business and force you into doing the right things that are important in a network marketing setup. So where most people fail is they start and they stop. They start and they stop. Penny just tells you to start, and it forces you to keep going. And you know what? I don't care what role you're in, whether you're a busy mom who's sitting at the soccer field in the rain, in your car while your kid's out playing, you could be banging out work on your phone, right? If you're a busy executive or a salesman who's traveling and sitting in airports, you could build a multi-million-dollar empire sitting in the airport. Like, there's no excuse here. You could do it while you're having coffee during your breakfast. You could do it on the train on the way to work. You could do it, you name it. Wherever there's that downtime, if you could find an hour a day to work with Penny, you can complete your tasks and build a business. And Laura and I, we're obviously, she mentioned her working out. I'm into working out. So I know what it takes to stay in shape, right? If I worked out for 3 months and then didn't work out for 3 months, and then worked out for 3 months and didn't work out for 3 months, I'm back where I started at the beginning of the year, right? But if I stay consistent with my workouts throughout the 12 months, I'm going to be in much better shape than I was on January 1st. Penny's that way. Like, Penny's that girl that she's just going to keep you motivated throughout the entire year. And watch what can happen. That's why I say anybody can do this. We all have contacts. We all have networks. We're all onto social media. It's just some people have a hard time knowing what to do and when to do it. And this is the type of technology that makes it easy to start a network marketing business and to be successful. Laura, can you take this piece too? Because I think this is right up your alley.
Yeah, so I think, we try to summarize, like, what are we looking for? What are we looking for? So I think one of the biggest attributes of people who love this business and also are great at it are people who want to build as a team, right? As we said earlier, we shipped 26 markets around the world. And looking for people who want to create a residual and leveraged income. One of the things that was really attractive to me is that not only was I going to be building an income producing asset, but this is a willable asset. So if something, God forbid, were to happen to me, that income that I have created will continue on to my kids and my husband forever, right? That is amazing, amazing. There's really no startup cost, right? Because the only startup cost is your own personal product consumption. And if you don't like the product, you're not going to build a business anyway, right? So I order so much more product than I need to for this business because I love it. There's incredible training and support. All of you know that work in corporate environment, how critical that is to help people get off the ground and running. And it's not just about you training them. It's about having the infrastructure to tie people into on places to learn on their own. And I think that's really important, and we do an incredible job at it. There's no need to carry any inventory. So for those of you who have friends that have been in companies like LuLaRoe and all these crazy companies where you have to buy the product to sell to other people, there's none of that. There's none of that. You're introducing people and helping them open an online account. To me, there's no risk. There was really no risk, and it duplicates very easily. I believe anybody can do this. It's just a matter of if they want to. So, for those of you on the phone who are not part of Isagenix yet, step one is just to open an account and select products that weave into your life, right? So talk to the person who brought you onto this call and just find some products that weave into your life to help you achieve whatever it is your goals are. So that's step one. Step two, let Penny do her thing, right? So really, if you have a desire to build this business, download the Penny app, integrate it in, and then you just start reaching out. And there's lots and lots of verbiage that we can help you with. What do you say? What do you say before you know anything? That's the job of being a part of a team, right? We help you know what to say, and we help you catch the people when they say yes. And then invite to our next call. These calls happen every single Tuesday night with a slightly different slant in terms of the content, but every Tuesday night is about the business opportunity, and every Wednesday night is about the product. And so when you don't know anything, your job is to invite to these calls and let someone who does have the experience share their story, and then learn alongside them. It's really as simple as that. And it just duplicate, and do it again and again and again.
Yeah, thank you, Laura. Listen, the people that are on this call, I wish I could give you a magic pill and you could see what Laura and I see. There's no trapdoors, there's no scam, there's nothing. I truly believe that, this is a company that last year did about 850, 900 million. This year, like I said, we'll probably do about 1.5 billion. We opened in 12 new markets last week, including Japan and the rest of Europe. Those are all virgin territories. So people that you may know in those markets might be the next superstars at Isagenix. We predict that probably within the next 10 years, we'll be a $7, $8, or $9 billion company. So we're in like this incredible growth mode. And I think what you're going to find over the next 5, 10 years is this becoming a very accepted and sought after type of a company, right? A lot of people are out driving Ubers for extra money, or they're renting out rooms in their home through Airbnb, or they're bartending or whatever. All of that is exchanging time for money. But when you're passionate about something like we are, passionate about a consumer product that people are going to consume every single day, that makes them feel better, gives them more energy, makes them look better, or lift more, or run faster, like all that stuff is contagious, right? And you can, if you're the person that sees it today, and you're in kind of on that ground level, everyone after that is part of your team, like with this massive team that grows together. And watch what happens over the next 3 to 5 years if you stick with it and you follow my girl Penny. You will be in a position where maybe you can do things with your family or pass things on to your kids that you never thought possible. But you'll never know unless you try. I took the leap of faith. Laura was forced into it. And a lot of you on this call might be in a position where you're being forced to make different decisions in your life right now. And I just want to tell you not to be afraid, to kick the door down and give this thing a shot. There is no risk. What's the worst thing that can happen? You're going to get healthier. So I thank you all for jumping on this call. Tomorrow night, we're going to do a product version of it. We'll kind of drill in a little bit to our product solutions. So if you like what you heard tonight and you want a little bit more validation, jump on tomorrow night. But thank you, everybody, for joining, and see you next week.